Imagine a thunderclad sky where a hidden child is born beneath a wandering cloud, a child whose first breath steadies the very winds. You are about to meet Artemis, the radiant daughter of Zeus and Leto, twin to the sun god Apollo, whose birth was foretold by a trembling oracle that she would become the eternal Huntress, forever bound to the wild. When Leto fled the jealous wrath of Hera, she sought refuge on the floating island of Delos, where Zeus finally released his promise. From that solitary rock, Artemis emerged, cradling a silver bow before she could even crawl, her eyes already alight with moon-silver fire. The prophecy whispered that she would never know the shackles of marriage, and the gods themselves marked her destiny with a crown of starlight. You feel her resolve as she declares a pact with the untamed forests, swearing perpetual virginity to preserve the purity of the chase. In the hush of ancient groves, she becomes one with the rustling leaves, the whisper of the wind, the startled doe, each creature a silent witness to her oath. This vow is not a denial but a powerful alliance, a promise that nature's secrets will remain untouched by mortal desire. The sacred oath of the hunt demands absolute loyalty. Any follower who betrays her sanctity faces the wrath of the moonlit woods. Artemis summons the chorus of hounds and hawks, demanding that hunters honor the balance between pursuit and respect. Those who break the covenant find their arrows turning back, their footsteps lost to thickets that swallow even the boldest. Consider Actaeon, a proud hunter whose curiosity led him to a forbidden glimpse of Artemis bathing in crystal pools. The moment his eyes met her naked form, the goddess unleashed a torrent of wolves that tore the man apart, his own hounds turning feral. His tragic fate serves as a stark reminder that disrespect of the divine hunt invites irreversible consequences. Then there is Orion, the giant of the stars, who once shared the hunt beside Artemis, their bond forged in countless triumphs over beasts. Jealousy and destiny twist their story when a stray arrow, guided by a jealous Apollo, strikes the beloved hunter, and Artemis, heartbroken, places him among the constellations as a warning. Their love-filled rivalry illustrates the goddesses' complex dance between affection and fierce independence. As you walk through ancient glades, you sense Artemis's guardianship over every creature, every sapling, every breath of wind. She stands as the timeless protector of the wild, a sentinel whose arrows pierce the darkness of exploitation. What hidden truths of the natural world might you uncover if you dared to listen to the whisper of her bow? Did you know Artemis entered the world while the heavens thundered with a prophecy that would bind her to the moonlit woods? You imagine Zeus and Leto trembling on the island of Delos, their child's cry echoing across the Aegean. In that instant, twin brother Apollo claimed the sun, while Artemis claimed the night, a destiny forged before she even drew her bow. From her first breath you sense her fierce claim to virginity, a pact she sealed with the untamed wilderness. You picture her wandering the groves, her feet barely touching the earth, her spirit intertwined with every rustling leaf. She declared herself the eternal huntress, a guardian whose arrows never stray, whose heart beats in rhythm with the wind. Every follower of the hunt swears a sacred oath, and you feel the weight of that promise reverberate through stone altars. Artemis demands purity, loyalty, a devotion that mirrors the unblemished forest she protects. Break that oath, and the wilderness turns its teeth, swift and unforgiving. Think of Actaeon, the proud hunter whose curiosity sealed his doom. You watch him stumble upon Artemis bathing, moonlight glinting off her skin, and the forest itself erupts in fury. The hounds he once commanded now chase him, his flesh torn as a warning to all who disrespect the divine hunt. Then there is Orion, the colossal hunter who dared to match her skill. You see them together on the horizon, spears flashing, laughter echoing among constellations. Their bond, however, sours when jealousy ignites, and Artemis, heart pounding with fierce love, releases her arrow, scattering his stars across the night. Beyond the chase, Artemis shields every creature, every sapling, every whisper of wind. You sense her hand guiding the stag away from the hunter's blade, her breath calming storms that would ravage the forest. In her care, the balance of nature breathes, untouched by mortal greed. She also stands at the threshold of birth, a midwife to mothers and a protector of newborns. You picture Leto, weary and alone, finding refuge under Artemis's veil, the goddess cradling the infant Apollo. Women whispered her name in birthing chambers, seeking the goddess's gentle strength to usher life into the world. Across the Mediterranean, temples rise in her honor, Ephesus with its towering marble columns, Brauron's sacred grove where maidens traded toys for bows. You hear the echo of prayers rising from marble steps, each offering a fragment of devotion to the Huntress. During the Brauronia, young girls garlanded with wreaths would climb a wooden pole, a ritual mimicking Artemis's ascent to the heavens. You picture the crowd's roar, sacrifices of deer, the scent of incense mingling with pine, a communal heartbeat honoring the wild. Even in the fury of the Trojan War, Artemis intervenes, drawing her bow to strike down the youthful Prince Troilus. You feel the shock of his death rippling through the battlefield, a reminder that even heroes bow before the goddess of the hunt. Artists capture her in stone and pottery, bow poised, stag at her side, moon haloing her crown. You see her image evolve, from classical marble to Hellenistic bronze, each curve telling a story of power and grace. And still today, you hear activists invoke her name, calling for forests to be shielded, oceans to be respected. Artemis's mythic spirit endures, a timeless call to protect the wild. What will you do when you hear the whisper of her bow echoing through the ages? You hear the rustle of leaves as a circle of hunters gathers beneath moonlit oaks, each bough bent in reverent silence. Artemis demands a sacred oath, a promise of absolute purity and unwavering loyalty, sealed with the whisper of her name. Those who swear by her bow become custodians of the hunt, bound to protect the forest as fiercely as they pursue their quarry. Break the oath, and the woods turn against you. The ancient rites warn that even a single breach summons the goddess's wrath, turning the hunter into prey. In myth, a careless archer who boasted of his skill faced a sudden storm that scattered his arrows, each one returning to strike the very hand that loosed them. The lesson is clear: Artemis's justice is as swift as the wind through her trees. One hunter, Actaeon, dared to trespass where mortal eyes should never linger. While chasing a stag, he stumbled upon Artemis bathing in a crystal pool, her gleaming form reflected upon the water's surface. The sight was a forbidden glimpse, a violation of the sacred oath of privacy. In a flash, the goddess's silver arrows ignited the forest, and the hounds that once served Actaeon turned on him. Their snarls echoed as the hunter was torn apart, his own dogs devouring the man who once commanded them. The brutal punishment reverberates through the ages, a stark reminder that disrespecting the divine hunt invites annihilation. Later, the giant hunter Orion roamed the same wilds, his confidence as towering as the mountains he crossed. Artemis fell under his charm, sharing meals and moonlit walks, yet jealousy brewed among the stars. When a stray arrow, fired not by Artemis but by a jealous god, pierced Orion's heart, she claimed his fallen form, placing his constellation beside hers as a permanent memorial of love and loss. Beyond romance and revenge, Artemis stands as the ultimate guardian of the wild. She watches over every fawn trembling in thicket, every ancient oak that shelters generations, ensuring the balance of nature never falters. Her arrows protect the delicate web of life, and her presence steadies the pulse of the forest. When you walk beneath a canopy of whispering leaves, consider the oath you would swear to the hunt. Could you honor the ancient pact, or would you risk the same fate as those who once dared to see the goddess unmasked? The answer lies in the silence of the woods and the echo of Artemis's bow. When the moonlight drapes the trees, you hear the rustle of Actaeon's hounds. The proud hunter chased a stag through Artemis's sacred grove, only to stumble upon the goddess, naked, bathed in silver. She turned his eyes to stone, and the very beasts he pursued rose as feral hounds, tearing him limb by limb, a brutal reminder that the wilderness does not forgive the arrogant gaze. You feel the echo of his fate reverberate in the wind as Orion steps into the scene, a towering giant whose spear rivals the thunder of Zeus. Artemis fell for his fierce spirit, the two roaming together under starlit skies, their arrows singing in unison. Yet jealousy brewed among the gods. Artemis's brother Apollo, jealous of his sister's affection, unleashed a deadly arrow that pierced Orion's heart, and the Huntress, sorrowful yet resolute, claimed his corpse among the constellations. In that moment you witnessed the paradox of her love, fierce, protective, yet capable of ruthless judgment. Artemis's devotion to the hunt is not a hollow romance. It is a covenant with the wild, a balance she maintains with both tenderness and steel. When she lets an arrow fall, it is not out of spite, but to preserve the delicate order of predator and prey. You walk deeper into the forest and sense her presence in every rustling leaf, every startled doe. The goddess guards the untamed realms, ensuring that wolves do not overrun the meadow and that the stag's antlers remain unblemished. Those who dare to wound her creatures without reverence find their crops wither and their flocks fall silent, nature's own retribution. A softer side emerges when you hear the cries of laboring women in the night. Artemis, still a newborn herself, aided her mother Leto in delivering the twins, and later she became the patroness of childbirth, guiding midwives and protecting mothers in the shadows of temples. Young girls offered her vows, hoping her swift arrows would shield them from the perils of birth and the unknown. As you stand beneath the ancient altar at Brauron, the echo of girls pounding the ground with their fists reminds you of the goddess's dual role, hunter and guardian, virgin and midwife. She watches over the wild and the home, an eternal sentinel of life's cycles. What would you protect if the spirit of Artemis whispered through the trees, urging you to honor both the hunt and the hearth? When Zeus and the Titanos Leto fled Hera's wrath, they found refuge on Delos. There, under moonlight, Artemis sprang forth, twin to Apollo, her destiny sealed by a prophecy of eternal virginity. From her first breath, Artemis claimed virginity as a shield and a promise. She forged a pact with the untamed woods, vowing to guard every rustle of leaf and every creature that whispered its name. The hunt became her sacred covenant, demanding purity from every follower who dared draw her bow. Break the oath, and the forest itself turns ruthless, delivering swift retribution to the transgressor. Actaeon, a proud hunter, chased a stag into a hidden glade and caught Artemis bathing in silver light. The goddess's fury transformed him into a stag, and his own hounds tore him apart, a grim reminder that curiosity disrespects divinity. Orion, the giant of the stars, roamed the night as Artemis's companion, sharing laughter and the thrill of the chase. When Zeus, jealous of their bond, struck Orion down, Artemis mourned yet raised him to the heavens, sealing his legacy among the constellations. Beyond the chase, Artemis guarded the wild like a silent sentinel. She shielded vulnerable fawns, healed wounded wolves, and ensured the forest's pulse beat in harmony with the seasons. In the shadows of her moonlit glades, Artemis doubled as a midwife, assisting Leto in delivering Artemis and Apollo under a pine's shelter. Women called upon her to ease labor, believing her bow could guide a newborn's first breath. From the marble halls of Ephesus to the sacred grove of Brauron, temples echoed her name. Pilgrims trekked across the Aegean to offer libations, hoping the Huntress would bless their fields and families. During the Brauronia, girls swore the Arctoi oath, clambering onto wooden poles as symbols of the hunt. At Artemisia, hunters presented boars' heads, and the air rang with drums, celebrating the goddess's fierce generosity. When Troy trembled, Artemis intervened, striking the young prince Troilus with an arrow of destiny. The loss reshaped the hero's pride, reminding warriors that even the mightiest cannot escape the huntress's will. Artists captured her with a slender bow, a silver crescent moon, and a stag at her feet. Pottery and sculpture traced her silhouette across centuries, each line echoing the timeless chase between hunter and prey. Today, activists invoke Artemis as the spirit of wilderness, fighting to preserve forests and protect wildlife. As you hear the wind rustle through ancient oak, ask yourself, what part of Artemis's mythic hunt will you carry into the modern world? You have seen Artemis as the relentless huntress, piercing the shadows with her silver arrows. Yet, her mastery of the wild extended far beyond the chase. She was not merely a hunter, but the fierce guardian of the very wilderness she roamed, an ancient shield for every creature that stirred within the sacred groves and untamed forests. Her bow, a symbol of precision, also represented her sacred pact to preserve the delicate balance of nature itself. Imagine stepping into a primeval forest, untouched by human hand, where every rustle of leaves whispers of a divine presence. This was Artemis's domain, a sanctuary she fiercely defended. She safeguarded the young of every species, from the fawns hidden deep within the brush to the fledglings nestled high in ancient trees. Her wrath was legendary for those who dared to harm innocent creatures without cause, reflecting a profound reverence for life's cycles. The forests themselves were extensions of her spirit, hallowed grounds where trees stood as silent sentinels. Any act of desecration against these natural cathedrals would ignite her divine fury. You might recall the tale of King Ennius, whose failure to honor Artemis in his harvest led her to unleash the Caledonian boar upon his lands, a monstrous embodiment of nature's vengeance. This was no mere punishment, it was a restoration of cosmic equilibrium. Her protection wasn't sentimental, it was absolute. Artemis decreed which animals thrived and which were culled, ensuring that no single species overwhelmed the delicate ecosystem. She understood the intricate web of life better than any god, acting as the ultimate ecological regulator. You witnessed her precision in the hunt, but that same precision applied to the careful stewardship of the entire natural world, a responsibility she bore with unwavering conviction. To violate her sacred spaces or to disrespect the animals under her charge was to invite swift and brutal retribution. Actaeon, transformed into a stag by Artemis and torn apart by his own hounds, serves as a chilling testament to the consequences of such transgressions. His fate was not just a personal tragedy but a stark warning etched into the very fabric of myth. Nature, when disrespected, will reclaim its own. From the sun-drenched plains of Anatolia to the misty woodlands of Arcadia, Artemis's watchful eye extended across every untamed landscape. She embodied the raw, untamed spirit of the wilderness, a goddess whose very existence was intertwined with the health and vitality of the earth. Her story reminds you that true power often lies in the balance between asserting dominance and upholding the sacred sanctity of life itself. You feel the pulse of the ancient birthing chambers whenever Artemis steps aside from the hunt, for the virgin Huntress is also a divine midwife. She cradles Leto through a painful labor that no mortal could bear, then extends the same fierce protection to women in labor, guiding them with a cool, moonlit hand. In the sanctuaries of Delos, mothers whispered prayers to her, trusting that the goddess of the wild would safeguard their newborns as fiercely as she guards the forest. The reverence for Artemis spreads from the marble columns of Ephesus to the rugged cliffs of Brauron, each sanctuary echoing a different facet of her power. At Ephesus, the colossal statue, her chest a cascade of gilt, her arms holding a bow, loomed over merchants and pilgrims alike, a testament to her role as a patron of trade and fertility. In Brauron, young girls swore oaths beneath a sacred statue, their tiny feet tracing the same paths that once led the Huntress through moon-drenched groves. Festivals burst into life when the calendar marks Artemisia and the Brauronia, when the air shivers with the scent of incense and the clang of bronze. Young maidens dress as bears, leaping through the woods to reenact the myth of Artemis's own transformation, while priests offer the first fruits of the harvest on altars of polished stone. The rituals blend reverence with revelry, reminding you that devotion can be both solemn and celebratory. Even the thunderous clash of the Trojan War could not silence her bow. When the young prince Troilus fell beneath an arrow, it was Artemis's hand that guided the shaft, a stark reminder that the goddess protects the vulnerable even amid epic carnage. Her intervention reshapes heroic narratives, turning a battlefield into a stage where the divine asserts the sanctity of youth and innocence. Artists across centuries have etched her symbols into marble, pottery, and coin, each bow a promise, each stag a whisper of the forest's secret heart, each crescent moon a mirror of her ever-watchful eye. From the austere bronze statues of the classical era to the flowing drapery of Hellenistic reliefs, Artemis's image evolves, yet the core motifs remain unchanged, echoing the timeless dance between hunter and prey. Today, environmental activists invoke her name, rallying beneath banners that carry the stag and the moon, pleading for the forests she once roamed. When you walk among ancient oaks or watch a lone wolf disappear into twilight, ask yourself, what would Artemis demand of you? Respect for the wild, reverence for life, and a promise to guard the fragile balance she created. Yet, long before her image inspired modern environmental calls, the ancient world raised colossal temples to her untamed spirit, places where her power was undeniably felt. Imagine standing before the colossal temple of Artemis at Ephesus, a structure so magnificent it defied belief, earning its place among the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Here, the goddess was worshipped not just as the swift huntress of the wild, but as a potent, nurturing force, often depicted with multiple breasts, symbolizing abundant life and fertility, a unique local interpretation of her vast influence. But far from the bustling splendor of Ephesus, another sacred site, Brauron, nestled in Attica, offered a different, more intimate connection to Artemis. Here, young girls, known as Arctoi, or little bears, underwent profound rites of passage in her honor, dedicating themselves to the goddess before marriage. This was a crucial ceremony acknowledging her power over fertility, the transition from girlhood to womanhood, and the delicate balance of women's health. You can almost hear the echoes of their ancient songs within those hallowed ruins. From the sacred island of Delos, her mythical birthplace, to the martial city of Sparta where she was revered as a goddess of the wilds and even warfare, her cult centers dotted the entire Mediterranean. Each temple, each humble altar, was a testament to the diverse facets of her power, from the fierce protector of virgins to the benevolent overseer of childbirth. These were not mere buildings, they were gateways to the divine, places where the veil between worlds thinned, and mortals sought her favor through intricate rituals, lavish offerings, and fervent prayer. In these hallowed grounds, the ancient Greeks truly encountered the wild, untamed spirit of Artemis. Imagine a moonlit night where the forest itself seems to breathe with anticipation, and you hear the rustle of leaves turning into a chorus of celebration. The air is charged with the promise of Artemis herself, ready to receive the faithful. At Ephesus, the Artemisia erupts in a dazzling procession that winds through marble colonnades, each step echoing the goddess's haunt. You watch torchlit arches illuminate statues of the Huntress, while priests chant ancient hymns that have survived centuries. Far to the east, the island of Brauron hosts the Brauronia, a rite that transforms the very landscape into a sanctuary of wildness. Young maidens, the Arctoi, dress in soft white robes, their footsteps echoing the rhythm of hunting drums. These girls, once called little bears, perform a symbolic shedding of innocence, stepping into the role of Artemis's protectors. You sense their trembling excitement as they offer garlands of oak and pine, each leaf a pact of loyalty. The heart of each festival is sacrifice, a solemn exchange between mortal and divine. A silver-haired deer, a sturdy goat, and a cup of spiced wine are laid upon stone altars, their scent rising like incense to the night sky. Following the offering, a procession of torches sweeps the hills, led by a choir of maidens whose voices rise in melodic reverence. You feel the beat of drums reverberate through the earth, uniting worshippers in a shared pulse. Villagers gather for communal feasts, spreading tables of barley, figs, and honey-glazed lamb. Stories of Artemis's hunts are retold around flickering fires, each tale a thread weaving the community tighter to the goddess's wild spirit. Priestesses, cloaked in woven vines, oversee the rites, their gestures sealing vows of purity and guardianship. You watch as they bind a ribbon of laurel around each participant's wrist, a reminder of the oath to protect the untamed. When the final hymn fades, the moon hangs high, its silver light a silent witness to the covenant forged. You leave the sanctuary carrying a fragment of Artemis's fierce love for nature, wondering how these ancient rituals echo in today's call for environmental stewardship. Yet, the serene image of the goddess of the wild often gave way to a formidable force on the battlefield, especially during the legendary Trojan War. You find Artemis, the protector of life, paradoxically drawn into the brutal conflict, frequently siding with the Trojans against the Achaeans. Her intervention was often a response to perceived disrespect or to support her brother Apollo's chosen side. Remember the chilling tale of Iphigenia, whose sacrifice was demanded by Artemis herself. The goddess, enraged by Agamemnon's boastful killing of a sacred stag, becalmed the winds, trapping the Achaean fleet at Aulis. Only the offering of his own daughter could appease her wrath and allow the ships to sail, a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of offending the divine Huntress. Her reach extended further into the heart of the war, influencing critical turning points. You witness her indirect hand in the tragic death of Troilus, a young prince of Troy. It was prophesied that if Troilus reached his 20th year, Troy would never fall. Artemis, through divine machinations often involving Apollo, ensured this prophecy was thwarted, leading to Achilles' brutal slaying of the boy and sealing Troy's doom. Her presence infused the war with an undeniable sense of divine fate, shaping the destinies of heroes and mortals alike. Sometimes she struck with plagues and arrows of sickness alongside Apollo, devastating the Achaean camps. Other times, her swift aid was lent to those who honored her, or her wrath unleashed upon those who defied her sacred laws, further illustrating her unyielding demand for respect and adherence to nature's balance. Artemis was not merely a distant observer, her divine will actively wove through the tapestry of conflict, leaving an indelible mark on heroic narratives. You see how her decisions, born from a fierce sense of justice and an unyielding spirit, dictated the flow of battles and the ultimate downfall of a great city. Her interventions remind you that even in the chaos of war, the gods held the threads of destiny in their powerful hands. You have felt her arrows shape the fate of heroes, now let the brush and chisel reveal how artists captured her spirit. From bronze to marble, the goddess of the hunt became a living emblem, her image echoing across centuries. Every line of stone whispers the same fierce resolve. The bow, sleek and unyielding, is Artemis's most iconic weapon. You see it carved into the forearms of statues, its curve a promise of swift justice. In the hands of the divine Huntress, the bow transforms from mere tool to a symbol of balance between life and death. Equally powerful is the stag, forever at her side. You recognize its antlers in temple reliefs, each branch echoing the forest's hidden pathways. The stag embodies her pact with nature, a reminder that the wild is both protector and prey under her vigilant gaze. The moon crowns her with silver, a luminous badge of night's dominion. You notice crescents etched on pottery, the goddess bathed in lunar light. The moon not only guides hunters, it also mirrors her purity, an eternal cycle of renewal and mystery. Classical sculptors refined her visage, turning myth into marble. You can trace the evolution from the rigid kouros form to the fluid grace of the Hellenistic Artemis of Ephesus, where delicate folds and tender muscles convey both power and tenderness. Each generation reshaped her, reflecting contemporary ideals of femininity and strength. On pottery, Artemis leaps across black figure and red figure scenes, her bow drawn, a stag poised behind her. You see the same motifs repeated on amphorae, cups, and craters, each imprint a visual prayer to the huntress. The pigments, though faded, still pulse with the same mythic energy that once guided ancient devotees. When you gaze upon these ancient depictions, ask yourself, how do the symbols of bow, stag, and moon still speak to a modern world hungry for guardians of the wild? The art of Artemis endures, inviting each generation to rediscover the legendary balance she embodies. Even today, the spirit of Artemis resonates with astonishing clarity, reaching far beyond the ancient world. Her fierce independence and unwavering commitment to the wild continue to inspire modern movements, making her a timeless icon for those who champion autonomy and environmental preservation. You see her echo in every fight to protect endangered species, in every activist standing guard over ancient forests, and in the passionate voices advocating for the delicate balance of our planet. Artemis, the eternal virgin goddess, has also become a powerful symbol of female strength and self-sufficiency. For many, she embodies the courage to forge one's own path, unbound by societal expectations or conventional roles. Her myth speaks to the enduring power of personal choice, a goddess who chose her destiny and fiercely defended her sovereignty, offering an ancient blueprint for modern empowerment. Her connection to the moon and the untamed wilderness continues to draw those seeking a deeper connection to nature and their own primal instincts. You might feel her presence when hiking through a silent forest, or when gazing at the full moon, sensing the ancient energies she commands. She reminds you of the wildness within, the instinctual wisdom that often gets lost in the clamor of modern life, urging you to reconnect with that untamed part of yourself. So, what does Artemis truly offer us in the 21st century? She is more than just a legendary hunter, she is the embodiment of a primal truth, that true strength lies in respecting both the world around us and the wild spirit within. Her legacy challenges you to protect the vulnerable, to honor your own path, and to never forget the sacred bond between humanity and the untamed earth. Exploring the myths of Artemis is not merely delving into ancient tales, it is a journey into the heart of enduring power, a call to rediscover the legendary balance she represents.